Let's go Broncos! We have something very important to talk to you about. The Denver Broncos are getting ready to face the Colts and then the Chargers, which will be extremely important games. And I'll tell you something, this playoff thing makes me very emotional. I can't believe we're talking about this. If you're really happy with the Denver Broncos and Coach Sean Payton's performance this season, hit that like button hard. If possible, write something like, "Go Broncos! I believe in the Super Bowl." Sean Payton has officially cemented himself as the centerpiece of the Denver Broncos resurgence, and today, we're breaking down exactly why he's the guy every other team would love to have. Let's face it, Broncos country, after years of disappointment and rebuilding, we finally have a leader who has transformed not only our team, but the entire narrative surrounding this franchise. And it's not just his offensive genius or his ability to make jaw-dropping plays, it's his leadership, his accountability, and his magnetism that sets him apart. Coming off a stress-free bye week, the Broncos are in a strong position at 8-5, with a 2-game lead heading into the playoff race. But it's not just the record that has everyone talking, it's the culture shift. This is no longer your average NFL team. Sean Payton has built something special. For context, let's go back to last week's game against the Cleveland Browns, a matchup that could have been a nightmare but instead became a masterclass in leadership. One of the lowest points of that game came when we had just stopped the Browns, finally getting the ball back. Our defense had been on the field far too long, fighting tooth and nail to keep us alive. And then, on the first play of the drive, we made a questionable decision. Rather than sticking to a conservative call, we rolled Bo Nix out to his left, asking him to throw deep into single-man coverage. The result? A disastrous interception, with Marvin Mims being completely blanketed by one of the best man-cover corners in the league, Denzel Ward. At that moment, every fan was probably shouting the same thing. What were we thinking? Now, here's where Sean Payton showed why he's different. When asked about the interception post-game, Payton could have easily shifted the blame to Bo Nix, or rookie quarterback, or to Mims for failing to make a play. But he didn't. Instead, he owned up to the mistake, saying, "That was my fault. That call wasn't good." Simple, direct, and powerful. In an NFL where coaches often point fingers or sidestep responsibility, this moment stood out. Payton's willingness to fall on his sword speaks volumes about his leadership style and why his players are willing to run through walls for him. Think about it. How often do we see coaches take accountability like that? Recently, Antonio Pierce of the Raiders called out his team for making business decisions rather than playing hard, throwing his players under the bus. Matt Eberflus of the Chicago Bears did something similar after botching clock management against the Lions. Instead of owning up to his mistakes, he doubled down, saying he'd handle the situation the exact same way again. And he was fired the next day. Even Jared Mayo in New England has struggled to take responsibility for his questionable play calling and strategy. This kind of deflection is the norm in the NFL, but not with Sean Payton. Payton's accountability is one of the reasons players love playing for him. Look no further than the 17 former New Orleans Saints who have followed him to Denver either as players or coaches. These aren't coincidences. This is proof that Payton has built a reputation as a player's coach. He's tough, but fair. He inspires loyalty while maintaining high standards. He's not just an offensive mastermind. He's a leader who knows how to bring out the best in his team. And speaking of offensive genius, let's talk about what Payton has accomplished this season. The Broncos entered the year as a laughingstock in preseason rankings. PFF had us tied for dead last in the NFL, with an over-under win total set at just 5.5 games. Every analyst was smashing the under, writing us off before the season even started. But here we are, outperforming every expectation. In our last 3 home games, we've scored 21 points in the first half each time, something we hadn't done more than twice in the past 9 years. That's the Sean Payton effect. What makes Payton's success even more impressive is the context. He's working with a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, navigating a roster burdened by Russell Wilson's dead cap hit, and dealing with limited draft picks from previous trades. Yet, he's found a way to make it work. This isn't just coaching. This is artistry. He's taking what little he's been given and turning it into something extraordinary. Imagine what he could do once the roster is fully reloaded and he has even more resources at his disposal. This isn't just about X's and O's. It's about vision. Payton has created a culture of belief. Players trust him. Fans trust him. And for the first time in years, the Broncos have an identity. Payton has been compared to a combination of Dan Campbell's infectious energy and Kyle Shanahan's offensive brilliance. It's a comparison that feels more accurate with every passing week. What makes Sean Payton stand out isn't just his ability to blend leadership with tactical brilliance. It's how he elevates the entire organization, even in the face of adversity. Look at where this team started, a roster ranked 31st or 32nd on most preseason boards, a legacy of underperformance, and analysts predicting doom. Yet Payton has turned this group into one of the most competitive teams in the NFL. How? By instilling confidence, demanding accountability, and finding ways to win even when the odds are stacked against them. Take, for example, the fact that the Broncos have had to overcome significant roster limitations. With a rookie quarterback like Bo Nix leading the charge and the financial hit from Russell Wilson's contract limiting flexibility, most coaches would struggle to even maintain a .500 record. Payton, however, has the Broncos at 8-5, and they are firmly in the playoff race. This is a coach who knows how to maximize every resource, who can turn what looks like a bare pantry into a five-star meal. But it's not just about making the most of what's on hand. It's about planning for the future. Payton is laying the groundwork for long-term success. The Broncos aren't just winning now, they're winning in a way that feels sustainable. His ability to adapt his game plan, elevate his players, and maintain composure in high-pressure moments is what sets him apart. And let's not overlook the numbers. Payton's teams have consistently outperformed expectations, and this year is no exception. The Broncos are peaking at the right time, and with 4 games left in the regular season, the sky feels like the limit. Now, about those playoff scenarios. Broncos fans, this is where it gets exciting. We control our destiny. If we win 3 of our last 4 games, we're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Even if we go 2-2, with just a little bit of help from other teams, like a Dolphins loss to the Jets this weekend, we're still in great shape. And here's the kicker. Even with a rough 1-3 finish, the Broncos could sneak in with the right combination of results from other teams. That's the kind of position you want to be in as a fan. There's no question that this team is firing on all cylinders at just the right moment. Payton's impact extends beyond just the X's and O's. His presence has transformed the culture of this franchise. Broncos country hasn't felt this united or optimistic in years. Think about the energy surrounding this team. From the players to the fans, everyone is buying in. Payton's accountability, like when he took the blame for that interception against the Browns, is emblematic of his leadership style. It's no wonder players are willing to go the extra mile for him. It's no wonder the team feels like it has a new identity. And for those who doubted him, look at the numbers. Payton is the second highest paid coach in American professional sports, behind only Bill Belichick. That's a level of confidence from ownership that you don't see every day. And he's earning every penny. When you consider what he's been able to achieve, turning a team projected to win fewer than 6 games into a playoff contender, it's clear why the Broncos invested in him. This isn't just about this season. This is about building a legacy, a team that can compete year in and year out. There's also something poetic about Payton's journey. From his time with the New Orleans Saints to now with the Broncos, he's always been a coach who brings out the best in his players. Whether it's elevating a roster full of unproven talent or revitalizing veterans, Payton's touch is undeniable. And the Broncos are the beneficiaries of that magic. Fans can feel it, opposing teams can see it, and the league is taking notice. So, Broncos country, as we enter the final stretch of the season, it's time to appreciate what we have. This team, this coach, this moment, it's something special. The Broncos are back, and they're here to stay. But now, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Sean Payton's impact on this team? Are you as confident as we are about making the playoffs? And how do you see the Broncos stacking up against the rest of the league as we push toward the postseason? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, stay tuned for more updates as we continue this incredible ride. Broncos country, let's ride!